everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about independence in teenagers. I'm Rita and today it's all about you. For teenagers, independence means that they are having the opportunity to manage a great amount of freedom. It's the opportunity to experience what they think they are becoming. Sometimes they just move away a bit from the family values because they are trying to create their own identity. This is the time where they can practice their own decisions and the time that they will try to manage the responsible about themselves. But they still have their own family support net anytime that their judgment fails. In a general way, in order to become a functional adult, they need to depend on parents gradually, make their own decisions, realize consequences, and try to see the pros and cons of the situations and the experiences. Take more responsibility and solve their own problems. But independence, particularly in these teenage times, it's a process. You as a parent have to help your child in this process. Take a genuine interest in your kids' hobbies, friends, interests, but try to do it in a respectful way. Listen their own opinions and feelings about all these situations. Take time to listen without judgment and open-minded. Tell them and show them your love, but give them time and space and privacy. Establish clear family rules that they have to learn how to respect. Be firm but not violent or abusive. Include them in your family's resolutions. Because this independence acquirements is a process, you can help them little by little with small exercises to get used or get a new good use of these independence situations. Help them develop decision-making skills, finding different options, try to see the pros and cons in all situations, make them choose what is best for them and for the situation, teach them to have a plan B, and in the end analyze with them how they feel along all the process. Encourage your kids since very young to be responsible, like building trust, and try to make them understand that they have to have the responsibility, for instance, to tell you all the time where they are. Helping them with honesty and to take controlled risks. Encourage them to problem solve by staying calm, by analyzing in a calm way the situation, and eventually taking risks with positive consequences or low negative consequences. Help your teenagers and your child develop social skills, helping them learning to be more confident and to take responsibility for themselves and in certain case for other people or for certain situations. Encourage them to have a good time management, helping them the importance of taking care of themselves in a basic way, like being careful with hygiene, know how to cook, to do laundry, to tidy up their rooms and to be more clean and organized. Teaching them how to deal with money, how credit cards works, how bank works, how to use money in a responsible way, how to save money, and helping manage their own allowances. Give your child controlled independence, and with his own growing and with his own maturity, you can enlarge this independence every time that he feels and you feel comfortable with it. It's normal and expected and even good that during this process you will fail in the beginning of some of these situations. But it's important that you will reinforce his own confidence and help him to manage his own feelings about eventual fails and consequences of these fails. And it's important that you realize that this is an opportunity to be better. They will fight for you for more independence. Some situations they even want you to say no in order for them to feel safer. And in other situations, this can increase their own frustration. It all depends on the situation and on the maturity of your teenager. You as a parent, just listen, read between the lines, analyze eventually with him, and then decided what to do. In this phase, it's normal that conflicts will rise between both of you. But remember, your teenager is still trying to find and trying to manage and try to create his own identity. In this situation, try to stay calm, listen, be open and flexible. Be sure that you are clear in your own points of view. Be prepared to negotiate and try to compromise. And if you have to say no, do it in a respectful and sustained way. Just because your teenager is doing great in school, it doesn't mean that he knows or he has an idea how to handle the work environment. So it's very important that you help your teenager to have work skills. And this is easy if he can search for a part-time or a summer job or some kind of experience during his teenage years. Transportation skills are another thing that are very important. You have to see if your teenager is old enough and responsible enough to drive a car or a motor, if he's responsible to drive a bicycle, if he's responsible enough to use a GPS, if he knows how to use it, and if he knows how to manage public transportation, or even if he has to travel alone, if he can manage to do it by himself. Goal setting skills is another thing that it's really important. Teenagers' time are usually sometimes times that they are not very motivated and they are not very happy about themselves. So this is something, having goals is something that it's important for a teenager, even if it's a goal in the future or if it's a goal in a school. It doesn't matter which kind of goal it is, but it's important that he has goals. It can be something simple like having a new hobby or trying a new sport. It doesn't have to be school related, but it's important that they have something that makes them or help them being more motivated. Emotional regulation is something that is very private but important, because it's when you can see your child or your teenager maturity. So you can understand if your child is coping with anxiety when he is in some situations that usually he is not used to them, particularly when it's outside of his own comfort zone. He's comfortable with himself and if he can control temper in different situations. Household management is important for you to understand if your teenager is ready to be alone, even if it's just for a couple of days, or if it's another kind of situation that he has to be alone. It's important that he knows how to cook for themselves, that he can do laundry, that he can clean, that he can be aware of his own hygiene process, that he can do little households like small repairs, or how things work, and if things are not working, what to do. It's important to have financial skills, so it's important that you can teach the value of money and how to deal with expenses and how to be responsible with money and with that expenses. And at last, social skills. It's something that will turn your teenager life much more easier. If he can judge, or if he is a good character judger, if he can be polite and have manners, if he can have responsible relationship, and it doesn't mean not just intimate relationships but friendship relationships, and if in a social group or in a social environment he can be able to detach himself and think for himself and not just for the group. Independence is the result of the end of the teenage times and adolescence that leads to adulthood. It's a set of important skills that leads a teenager to a functional adult. It can be a very hard process for parents because this independence usually comes with a very heavy tag for parents, which is letting their kids go. And well, that's all for today, guys. I hope you like it. I hope you leave a thumbs up. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I hope you share with a friend. And I'll see you next time. Bye!